Okay, so I had my previously featured Ortlieb Back Roller bags, classic bags. The handle actually broke recently just after I got to work. You can see here where the junction point broke. And there how it should look normally. And since it's I don't feel safe with just one of these being attached. I had to order replacement handles because the bags are still doing well. And so I'm going to just show you quickly how to go through doing this and just how to do basic maintenance on the Ortlieb bags as well. Because another issue has been something that I've had to deal with. In fact, I'm going to show you this first. So a problem that I've noticed with these bags, the first things that break that have a problem is a little bit of pinhole leaks that start happening on the inside. Now the easy way to spot this is to hold up the bag to the light, unfortunately you probably can't see this, and see what light you can see coming through. I know there's a small pinhole leak in the bottom of this one, and so once you've spotted something like that, you can replace it with something like, repair it with something like silicone caulk or Sugru is this silicone paste that sets into rubber that you can apply on the inside or the outside. I personally prefer putting on the inside, but you figure out what works for you based on just doing it. And Sugru costs like 20 bucks for a pack of 6 or 8. It's a good purchase for repairing things like this if you've got multiple things that are needing fixes. And so I'm going to take this off. I'll just start showing you how. In order to be able to place the entire thing. There we go. So that's how that comes off, and there. Now the funny thing is, in order to get this actually out or in, you have to take this whole baby off, which requires a specific, what is called a star hex. I've got one. We're going to go grab it, and then we'll continue forward. So this is the appropriate sized bit, and we're just going to take off the back side of this one. And there's a bolt on the inside of these that you have to press. Well, it's not really a bolt. It's a little bit of plastic that will spin on the other side. And you have to hold it steady to get this off. And it appears that this one is actually a little bit stiffer than the last one I did. So I'm going to have to use the pliers and hold it tight. So give me a moment here as I do that. Apparently I'm going to have to grab my wrench out of here. Thankfully my toolkit also contains a wrench. And this is how repairs take more time than people expect them to at first. When I volunteer in the bike co-op in my city, I tell people that that's what you just should expect with trying to work on things. It'll take longer, and then you'll slowly get better at it over time. And since I haven't had to take one of these off much before, I'm quite inexperienced at it. So the fact that if I get this mostly right on the first try, will be quite a good result. There we go. And the inner bolt came off. There we go. And now this can come out. And so can this little guy. That's what that looks like on the old one. I've preset these on the new ones. And so these will just go in here. There's little grooves in the backside that this slides onto. And when you're ordering new ones, make sure you get the, for one, make sure you put it right side up. And when you get new ones, make sure you order the correct ones for your type of bag. At least for iterations previous to 2015, QL1 hooks were what was used for the classics, and QL2 hooks are what is used for the is what's used for the pluses. And so, as far as I can tell, at least in this one, both hooks are the same size. Well, both sides of that little placer are the same size. So, here we go. Let's try to get this aligned. There we go. And tighten. There we go. Now, just have to screw these nuts back on. And I'll just do them by hand just so you guys can see. And essentially when you're disassembling these, and I discovered this when I was doing it the other day at my office, what you don't want to do is pop the star bolt here all the way out of the bag. That's because it's going to make it real difficult in order to get back in there, and you just don't want to have to try to deal with that. I'm just making sure that threading is right here because it felt like it was fighting me a little bit. And after recently stripping a thread on something expensive, I don't want to do that. Do that again. So there we go. Tighten. Tighten. I'll just have to use the wrench to finish that one. And then the other bolt, which just popped out. And so you get to see me like this. There. And slip the nut on. And just a little plastic nut, nothing too complex about it. And hopefully nothing I did with this repair negatively affects the waterproofing of this, because that would be very unfortunate. But that's essentially how that goes. Now, on the buckle straps, I've noticed that this is the first thing that fails on the bag, other than small pinhole leaks. And as you can see, this isn't really useful to me anymore. But the trick I discovered that I could do, instead of having to just flat out start doing a bunch of sewing and buy new replacement buckles at the same time, was, if I can get these apart, because these are pretty tightly tied right now. There we go. What I did was I used the carrying strap as a new replacement buckling strap. And so what I did there, and that wasn't even purposeful, that. So what I did was, this is no longer buckled, this is no longer buckled into here, it is now tied down to here with this little guy, since it is no longer useful as a buckle. And you want to do it with both, because if you only do it with one, then the straps are going to slide. See? Nice and snug. And because you've got this much longer reach of strapping, you can actually lock up the bag with a lot more room than you ever can with what they come with. I know this looks ghetto and doesn't look very awesome, but on a tour I am actually really looking forward to this, because this means I can have bags of Cheetos and bread and a bunch of different stuff, and I can have a whole bunch of crap packed in there when I get a food source and not have to worry about squishing things. Same time, these probably won't be my first go-to panniers for the time being, because I just bought a pair of Back Roller Pluses to try out, since these are 5 years old and showing their age, but still going strong. But since certain parts like that are starting to break without a lot of warning, maybe it was because it was cold, but because that's starting to happen, it makes me feel inclined to not trust them with my life and safety on long distances away. And so, yeah, that's how you do those repairs, and hopefully that's helpful to folks. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. Bye.